All right, Yenie, we're here in the shipping department. I have a funny story too, because actually when I came in to interview and to come to work for Taurus, you were actually one of the first people I ever met. I don't know if you even know this.
No.
I remember this. Brett took me to go eat at the American, and you and your supervisor came in.
Oh, yes, I remember now.
Right? Yes, and I remember this key point because Brett's been around, and me and him worked together a lot, and he mentioned that the shipping department here at Taurus was one of the best he's ever worked with.
Oh,
and coming through, like, especially coming right off COVID and all that stuff when we were shipping guns out like crazy, that was a key thing there. So that's why we wanted to come talk with you and what happens around here. But when we started getting into that, everybody kept telling me about your story and where you started off here. And so go ahead and tell us a little bit about where you started at Taurus, and then kind of just lead into what you're doing now.
Okay, over 20 years ago, I worked part-time in a different company, and I knew an employee at Taurus that told me that they had a full-time open position.
Yeah.
So at that time, I decided to apply, and let me tell you, was the best decision that I could have made.
Yeah, so what was that job that you took to come in?
Okay, I was part of the maintenance department.
Okay.
So my duties were cleaning the office and part of the warehouse. And 2 years later, they opened a shipping clerk position, so that I applied, and the company gave me the opportunity.
That's awesome.
I start picking, packing, and I'm moving through all the different positions in the department. The supervisor at that time took me in her wings and told me everything she knew.
Yeah.
And after that, they opened a supervisor receiving position that I applied, and the company gave me another.
And I think you talk about this a little bit, the company gave you, but I mean, when we look at this and where you started off and what you learned, that's a lot of stuff to learn.
Oh, yes.
Right? And you know, I think you earned those positions quite well, because I have no idea what goes on here. We joke around because, like, you know, us sitting there like, hey, I need some, you know, guns for these riders sent out, you know. There's a lot of stuff that goes in, especially with compliance and getting guns in and out, right?
Yes.
So no, we appreciate everything that you do. So it's a great job. I know you've worked hard coming up through the chain. You said 20 years?
Yes, 22 years I have here.
My gosh, so
yeah, I have been working on this company.
So now, what's your official title now?
Now I shipping and receiving manager.
Okay.
Because on a couple of years ago, the VP of operation, he said that I should be promoted to a manager. Yeah. Based on my knowledge, all the leadership skill that I have.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I say it's an important side of this because Taurus knows that they manufacture guns quite a bit, and we saw this, you know, COVID happen, and you know, I talked to Brett a little bit about this. I remember sitting in meetings and the market was very slow on guns. You know, it was just kind of standard, typical stuff. And then March 2020, you just saw this crazy spike, you know, and it's during that COVID and riots and all that stuff. And there was this unprecedented demand for guns in America. Yes. You know, and you saw the gun culture go. Training went through the roof. I know a lot of instructors that their classes were just sold out. People wanting to go train. You had a ton of new shooters coming into it. Your job was so important because a lot of manufacturers fell short because they could not get guns shipped to dealers on time. You know, and Taurus was one of the best in the industry over that time of getting guns out there. So I guess, can you tell me a little bit about that time during COVID and stuff, of like trying to get guns out the door with that amount of demand?
COVID-19 for us was bad, but was not bad for our company. Because we were able to ship more than 32 orders. And more than 100,000 orders for the web.
Oh my gosh.
So we were able to ship like 1.5 million units.
Oh my gosh.
Outside the door. So thank God.
Yeah, and that's so key because when you look at like
don't stop.
why people were buying guns at that time, it's like they wanted them for self-protection. That was the majority of guns sold. I mean, so that job, getting those guns out there and supplied, was a very important job, not only in our company but in the American gun culture in America right there. So. So yeah, wild times, right, for a couple of years. I think it is still pretty wild, and y'all have got some great efficiencies here of getting those out. And I know everybody appreciates that stuff because it is very frustrating. I know any of us shoppers, right, is like when you go to the store and you want something and it's not there, it's quite annoying. So I know all of our dealers have like relayed about how great we are about getting the product to them in a timely manner and not overstocking them on that. So now, Taurus started in Miami and then moved up here to Bainbridge. And talked a little bit about outgrowing that. So what has that move from Miami to Bainbridge and these new facilities kind of done for your department to make your job a little easier?
Here we have more space, more capacity that gave me a chance or give the chance to shipping to grow up. Like for example, before we have 6 pack-out stations and now we have 12 pack-out stations.
Oh wow, so we doubled in growth.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We doubled the growth.
And it looks like there's more room to grow some more
too
out there.
Yes, we have more.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yenie, we appreciate everything. This is great. We'll definitely keep updated with everybody and keep doing what you're doing, keep growing.
Okay,
So we appreciate everything though.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.